Yo, what's up everybody? Righteous Rips and Flips and the Bald Eagles here. And this video is such a special video. Just want to thank everybody for tuning in and just talk about Memorial Day. This is a great day of time of reflection in our country, and it's simply exactly what it stated. It's a day of memory. We want to remember those that have served and those that have passed in serving our country, those that are no longer with us, first and foremost. So many names that we cannot even begin to speak them all, but only the Lord knows. So happy Memorial Day to all of you out there. Thank y'all for tuning in. And this actually started with this card here. I just had a desire. I am not raised in a family with people that served in the military of any kind, but my wife is, and I got close obviously to my father-in-law and her aunts and her uncles, people in her family that have served the country, and also our peace officers, volunteer firefightermen, just people that have really served this country. And her grandfather played such a huge part in her life. And she's going to be honoring him and talking about him towards the end of the video. So please stay tuned for that and stay for that. It's going to be something special. But several months back, I bought this card. Obviously, this is Pat Tillman, and we remember him being such a great hero, warrior on the football field, all-pro, caliber level player. But he gave his life for this country. He didn't have to, but he did. He chose to. He was that type of person. And so these are the people that we want to remember and honor today. I'm honoring Pat Tillman today because he's in this hobby. He brings us into this place. Memorial Day has a place in this hobby. Why? Because of players like this. And not just him, but there's players from the past. There's Ted Williams. There's Yogi Berra. There's John Wooden, who was one of the legendary coaches of basketball. He served in our country. He served our country. The list goes on and on, guys. Joe DiMaggio, Joe Louis was a professional boxer. Athletes that have served our country and helped our country when they needed them the most. And Pat Tillman was one of them. Gone too soon, but we will never forget him. We remember him today. I honor Pat Tillman today for not only his work on the field, and we'd love to watch his highlights and the tough kind of guy that he was, but the fact that he gave his life for his country, we will never forget that. And on the flip side of that, guys, is this what this video is about. It's about just bringing a strength as you watch this video, as you watch the places that we went to during our vacation. You're going to see just how beautiful America really is, and it can only be that beautiful for people like this, but not just people that have passed on, but people that are here with us even today that have served. We honor them today. We honor the people that tie us into this hobby because of players like this. Memorial Day is a part of collecting cards, sports cards, right? But there are also many sport card collectors now in the hobby that I even know of right now, that I can think of about 3 or 4 right off the top of my head. So if you're watching this right now and you served our country and you're involved with collecting sports cards, then we honor you today as well. So guys, without further ado, I bought this for my wife as a tribute to her. And just watch these next clips as we took our vacation, and we just felt a sense of responsibility to speak up and to honor the people that we knew, and so we just say that we will never forget you. Thank you for everything that you have done for our country, and we love y'all and respect y'all very much.
Hey, how's it going? Jake from Peaks Polls, and I wanted to help out Righteous Rips and Flips with his video, and I wanted to do a dedication to someone that I served with. And they're no longer serving. They're still around, but they were injured. And his name is Jeremy Sawyer. Jeremy Sawyer, he had a great sense of humor, and he took the time to kind of laugh and kind of, shoot the shit with, his fellow troops and stuff like that. But unfortunately, he was injured, and he had to get out because of it. But Jeremy Sawyer is quite a guy, and I hope he's doing well. I've kind of lost contact with him. But again, I hope nothing but the best for him. And
on Memorial Day, I'm going to remember a buddy of mine. I just recently came back from a funeral to Michael Van Kirk, who struggled severely with PTSD. I want us to remember those people who continue to fight the war when they come back home. I remember Michael Van Kirk, strong gentleman, fought hard while I served next to him in Iraq, Afghanistan. I want to honor and remember him. Semper Fi and Hoorah.
Hey guys, it's Bella here, and I am so grateful to give honor to my grandfather, Sergeant Ramon Hernandez, this Veterans Day. He was one of the greatest men I have ever known. I give him honor today. I miss him very much. He passed away in 2013, and I just wanted to share a few things about him and maybe some memories in honor of him on Veterans Day. He taught me the importance of respecting and honoring those who served our country, and so that is very important to me. He was a Korean War veteran, a paratrooper, and a combat soldier. And if you don't know what a paratrooper is, it is a soldier that would jump out of airplanes with their parachute. And I just think that is one of the most courageous things that a soldier could have ever done in that era. And just some memories that I have. My grandparents lived right across the street from Randolph Air Force Base, which is in Universal City. And I remember always going on base with my grandparents and going to the commissary, and we would eat breakfast on base. My grandpa loved eating SOS for breakfast. And I remember taps would play in the evenings, and so anytime taps would play, the whole town would hear it. Of course, their house was literally, it was the Air Force Base, the street, and then their house was literally right on the other side of the street, so you could hear everything that they had on those speakers. But when taps would play, we would go outside and stand on either side of my grandpa, and we would salute until the end of taps, and we would go back to our business. But even then, as a kid, of course I didn't fully understand, but I know now how sacred it was to him. I remember when he would sit in the living room at night, and he would have his blue pajama pants, and I remember always seeing his scars on his belly and on his back from gunshot wounds. And I remember asking him, "Papa, what happened there?" And of course he would give a silly story and make up a story every single time. And of course, as a kid, I didn't understand it. I laughed and forgot about it. And I understand now why he couldn't tell me the truth. But he would always share with me little glimpses of Korea. He would talk about how cold it was. He would talk about the foxholes. He would talk about how they taught him how to sleep with his eyes open, how they would take turns guard on guard, and one soldier would sleep and the other one would stand guard, and they would switch to take turns. Of course, there's one story that I'll never forget, but it's a little bit too gory. I won't share, but it definitely changed my understanding of him and the things that they experienced. And so I just want to say how much I appreciate those who serve, those who have served, those who are thinking about serving. I have somebody in my family and friends who are in every single stage. And so I honor you all today. And even until the day that my grandfather died in his hospital bed, I held his hand, and he said, "Mija, would you tie my combat boots?" And I'll never forget that. And even though it was, pushing 80 years old and sick, and he still thought he had his combat boots on. And so I give honor to all of you today. And I'm so glad to be an American and to be in this great nation.